New conversation. Let's talk, think about it. Let's get it together. Together we can do it. Oh, out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box, think out of the box, out of the box, out of the box.
What up, Out of the Box family? I am your host, J Got Soul, and this is season 3, episode 2. Season 3, episode 6, titled "Joy Comes in the Morning." Today, we will infuse music with spoken word to bring some awareness to what we observe in our communities.
Yeah.
So this show is sponsored by Urban Financial Literacy. Yes. Urban Financial Literacy specializes in building, protecting, and preserving your wealth. So if you or your family need some life insurance, retirement planning, credit repair, mortgage protection, trust, and estate planning, be sure to check out Urban Financial Literacy and book you a consultation so you can start getting your finances in order. All right. So be sure to also visit my new website, all right, at jgotsoul.com. We got some new stuff going on. We are rebranding, so we definitely want y'all to tap in with that. Currently, we are running our rebranding sale, which all of our items from our previous collection is now available for $30. We also have our Nova Sky Dedication collection, which is available on our website, so you can go ahead and check that out. We have some new items that we just added there too. If you're not looking for no clothes, you need a mug, you need a water bottle, you need some, whatever you need, we trying to get you right. All right. So, tap in with that. We also help with budgeting. So, we're talking about financial literacy. Black Money Matters, act like it. So our brand helps you with practical budgeting. We allow you to write down your finances month to month, and the worksheet is free. So y'all want to tap in with that and just really engage with the brand, because we are here for you. All right. Special thank you to those who are listening. We would like to ask you all to share this broadcast so we can reach as many people as possible. But y'all know how we get started. Let's have a word of prayer. All right. Okay. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for allowing myself and La to get into the studio safely. We are grateful for all the opportunities that you afford us, and we just ask that you continue to keep us covered and protected under your name. God, we just grateful for everything that you do for us, and we just want to magnify your name in everything we do. So again, thank you. We ask that you continue to keep us covered. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it. All right. So today we got La Speaks Volumes in the studio. You hear her, right? Yeah. So I refer to her as a fire breather. Yep. Y'all heard it. A fire breather. So La Speaks is an educator, spoken word artist, and she got some cold bars, y'all. So I'm excited to share this space with her today. So Out of the Box family, help me welcome La Speaks to the studio today. Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
Yes. All right, La. So I told you I want you to open us up with one of your fire breathing poems. So just give us a little something, show them what we're working with.
All right. So one of my signature pieces, Pretty Brown Girl. It was an anthem that I wrote for myself, to affirm myself and, just lift myself up when needed, especially body image wise, and just like just in pursuit of my higher self, so yeah, here goes Pretty Brown Girl. Okay. Pretty brown girl, why you frown, girl? Is it that everybody trying to put you down, girl? You don't never let them take away your crown, girl. You the one that make this world go round, girl. Pretty brown girl, I'm down, girl. How that sound, girl? It sounds like a masterpiece to me. can never go down as blasphemy, because God sculpted every part of you with a masterpiece, with a little box attached to might make him say, oh, and he call that the masterpiece. See, you could never be duplicated. There's only ever going to be one you to do what you do, so don't ever doubt why you were created. Skin glistening, heavily melanated, so beautiful, yet so many try to humiliate it. So many try to coincide your very existence with that of hatred. But baby girl, you better than that. Baby girl, stand tall where you at. And if they try to give you hell, you just go ahead and give it right back. And don't let them tell you something wrong with your curves or your little back fat, because I'll be the one to tell you, a real one still want to tap that.
Hey.
Okay? A real one still gonna gift wrap that, and when you throw it back, still slap that. Yes. Very much so a hot commodity. They paint invisible pictures of you because you walking around looking something like an oddity, meaning they see you, queen, and I'ma wear this crown till they get tired of me. Take pride in being the oddest thing. Take pride in who you are like I take pride in me. And tell them you deserve the finest things because you're the finest thing. And tell them you're not enticed by designer things because you're the best designer's thing. Tell them lose his cap and nick his knee. Don't give in till you get the ring, but until then, baby girl, press down on your dreams. Know that there's more than video vixens and BET, more than VH1 and MTV. Matter of fact, you know what MTV should mean? That you're more to value, because you're valuable. Don't let these hater shades cloud you. Don't let these reality shows paint you like you a clown bull, acting lost, and now all the wrong things done found you, and all the wrong things astound you. And like Kendrick said, be humble and sit down, boo. Because if God created one beautiful thing, that is you. You better believe he can create two. You better believe he can create something even more beautiful than you. He'll check you like a pay stub, wake you up without the makeup, break you down until you're no longer made up, make you look at the woman in the mirror with your face up, make you stay gracious, make you pack light and lose all the baggage that you might have hit the train with. So I ask again, pretty brown girl, why you frown, girl? Is it that everybody trying to put you down, girl? You don't never let them take away your crown, girl. You don't want to make this world go round, girl. Pretty brown girl, I'm down, girl. How that sound, girl?
Bars. That's bars.
Thank you.
Man, I couldn't have opened this any better. So La, let's talk about just where you come from, you know, where you grew up, that kind of thing.
Okay. I come from the district, Crenshaw District. My grandmother, my lovely, loving grandmother, Bernadette Smith. Okay.
Shout out.
My father's mother, who is deceased, she raised me and my little brother. So, you know, we got us we moved from Inglewood, you know, right off of Manchester and Ramsgate. We moved from there and we got a house on 57th and 4th Avenue. So, so, you know, that's my stomping grounds. I went to View Park Prep High School, right off on the corner of Slauson and Crenshaw. You know, my grandmother, it was either Crenshaw or Dorsey. My grandmother wasn't going for none of it.
Right.
Because her exact words was, "You're not about to have me up there because you fighting females," you know. And I wasn't really a fighter for real. It was just more so like she knew I kind of had like a no tolerance, you know, for BS. So that was like that was her way of you know, trying to just pave a different route for me. So going to View Park, like, it did do a lot for me, though. It really put my eyes on what I wanted to do for my future. Before that time, I went to Fauché Middle School. Okay. So before that time, I didn't know about college and things like that. So going to View Park Prep, which was a college preparatory, they put in front of me, options. And from there, I was able to get a full ride scholarship to UCLA. And I did all 4 years there, got my bachelor's in political science because I really was devoted to becoming a lawyer. And I wanted to get into children's law because I wanted to, help underprivileged children and who I felt, had a similar life that I did. Being that I was, fatherless because my father was killed at a young age. Being that I was fatherless and, my mother being a teen mom going through just growing up, you know what I'm saying? It made life challenging, to say the least. So I wanted to help those in my community. I wanted to help, children who I felt had just a similar struggle, like I said. So my focus was to get into law school. Up until I left college when I graduated from UCLA in 2012. So when I left college, life happened. And it happened for real. So, it kind of changed my direction. But I honestly am grateful for where I'm at. Yeah. I might not be a lawyer, but I definitely did my due diligence when it came to educating myself. And I'm still proud of the journey. And nonetheless, I'm still in my community helping children as a middle school teacher right now. So, yeah, that's like,
Yeah, life does that though, and I could definitely relate to your story as far as like living in the Crenshaw District but not going to the schools in the Crenshaw District because of the same reasons. I got bussed out to the Valley, when a lot of us was getting bussed out, and then when I was going to high school, my mom was like, that's too far, because she had to come to the school every week because I was getting in trouble. And so she was like, I'm not putting you at Crenshaw because the same thing gonna happen and I'm gonna be at Crenshaw every week. So then she put me in Gardena. So far enough, but not too close. And then it was a college prep, so it kind of got me on the right path in terms of sports. So yeah, I definitely relate to that. But tell the people, who is La Speaks? Like, when you decided on this name, who is La Speaks?
That's so funny, because just an insider, I didn't grow into La Speaks until a few years ago. It just started off as a Instagram screen name. And it was because as a little girl, I love to write. I love to write. I was in, writing competitions. I've done poetry since elementary school. But I never saw myself performing though. It was just more so of an outlet. So it really, it was like I said, an Instagram name that people just got acclimated to calling me. And then it spoke to the uniqueness of my voice. So people, they made the people, that I was speaking to when I did start performing in 2012, those people made me take on the name proudly. They made me own it. So and with taking on La Speaks volumes, I feel like I had to, the woman that I speak of, the poems that I have is really an ode to the woman that I want to be. You know what I mean? And when I realized the impact that these poems have and had on people, from their responses and stuff like that. When I realized that impact, I realized that I really had to step into this woman, the volumes that I speak of, I really have to be that, not just on stage, but in my real life, and La Speaks volumes is who made me accountable for what I put out like in the world, whether it's being a sister, whether it's being a teacher, whether it's being an artist. Like Law Speaks Volumes, like represents accountability for me, accountability for my platform, and then also just taking accountability for what the messages that I put out. So that's who Law Speaks Volumes
It
is.
kind of feels like you created the name and then you became the name.
Yes.
It's like, because you said like people made you they kind of made you live up to the name, but you created the name, maybe not knowingly.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, this is a part of who I am, but then now I'm stepping into, because law does speak volumes. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's real. It's not just a name. Like, it's a reality. So it's kind of like a birthing of who this fire breathing poet is. So let's talk about Joy Comes in the Morning. Tell us about this project. What inspired it? Because next we're going to listen to the actual song from your project. But yeah, tell us what inspired this project.
Okay. I'm just so glad I'm at a place now to be able to really articulate it. So what inspired Joy Comes in the Morning was the fact that I was definitely in a season of mourning, and it was hard to appreciate the small things, like getting up, like having a job, and having love and family, and support. Like, it was hard to appreciate those things because I was so like in the thick of my mourning, because my little cousin Demarie, rest in peace, he had committed suicide. He had committed suicide, and he did it publicly. And it was something that really put a mirror to my family, and the issues that we have, that we honestly had to face, and it also like made me step up in a way, because I am, on my mother's side, I am the oldest grandchild, and my little cousins, I play, a very, like, they hold me to such high regard, and Demarie was one of those cousins, and so when having to face like his suicide, it really like put me in a bad space, and I had survivor's guilt, which is a track on there which opens up the album. I had survivor's guilt, and I felt like I could have done so much more. But then, like, getting therapy and getting, like, I was practicing the guitar at the time, and I got lessons, was getting lessons from Mikey. And, like, this, I started to like appreciate like just the smallest of things, like wherever I could find joy, you know what I mean? And that is what I wanted to highlight in the album, that you can be in mourning and still have joy simultaneously, because I really felt like, how could I be happy and my cousin not here? He's not here to experience this happiness, and I almost felt like it was selfish for me to move on. And then I just had realizations like, this is just because I can find happiness in these moments doesn't mean like I'm mourning, or doesn't mean that I'm not mourning, or I've forgotten about him, or I've forgotten why I have to, like keep going. But that's also a joy factor, understanding that I have a reason to keep going. And Demarie is one of those reasons. What has happened to my family, like it can't be in vain. And there's still lessons in pain, you know, and being in those lessons and being awakened from that is what, you know, birth Joy Comes in the Morning. And it was honestly by accident. It was just supposed to be a poetry show, but because I was dealing with musically inclined people like Mikey and my homie Skrillafornia, like they put me in a position to say, hey, this was bigger than what I even envisioned, you know, and they made my vision so tangible that I just leaned right into it. And in that, I felt like creating this project was really what helped me understand what joy in the morning means, you know. So yeah.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard it here first. We are going to take a first break, and we're going to listen to Joy Comes in the Morning. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up this morning!
Tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 6. Today we are in studio with La Speaks Volumes. All right, so La, I want to talk about how I remember, you know, just kind of learning about you, because I talk about how we met, but we literally just met
right.
So one thing that I know is Mikey is always gonna link people that she feels that are dope and that, you know, just they can benefit from the relationship. And so she'd been telling me about you, and she was telling me you guys were working on this project, and this was the same time that I was going through my mourning, you know, with my niece. And so she had invited me out to your show, and I was like, all right. And I'm usually at every show she invited me to, because I'm like, it's gonna be dope.
Right.
So I was like, I want to come, but, you know, honestly, I can't, I'm not in a space that I'm able to, be there and not just, it's like one of those things where I can't feel happy for the moment because I'm just still stuck in the space of mourning. So I was like, I gotta miss this one. But I see you pop up on my social media because I started following you and just all the stuff that you're doing. I'm like, yo, she's dope. And then we were talking about the Be Well Wellness event. Like, who do we need to get on the lineup? I was like, we were just talking. He was like, I think La should be on there. I was like, absolutely. Right? What are we talking about? Yes. Put her on the show. So you came to the show, and then a couple of days after, then we finally met at the Virgil.
Yes.
That was the final, meeting. But that's how I remember just kind of like coming in contact with you. Do you have any prior memory of us like running into each other? Because like I said, I don't think we really like met for real.
It's just so funny. Like I said earlier, like we been in the same proximity. What's funny, you say you went to Gardena High. I taught at Gardena High.
I went to Sarah High in Gardena.
Oh, Sarah High in Gardena.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah.
But I'm like, it's super dope, to like just not, like I said, Mikey, she is really good at bringing people together who are in alignment.
Right.
And I feel like, whether it's the space that we're in, whether it's us coming from like having similar background and stuff like that, she's really good for that. I really think the first time that we made the solid connection was at the Virgil. I do remember you from passing in the at the Be Well show. So I was and I was very determined to connect, like, because I felt like sometimes when I'm performing, like I get into a mode where it's like I'm here to do the task, and trying to be purposeful in that. And then like, my interactions can be cut short a little bit because I'm being pulled in like different directions. So I always want to be personable, and that's why when I saw you at the Virgil, I was like, I wanted to, really like just at least like acknowledge, like, I know that your presence is here, and I've seen you before.
Yeah, got you. Okay, so let's talk about like, how were you introduced into spoken word?
How was I introduced? Like I said, I have been writing since elementary. And when I found out I was any good, my elementary teacher, my second grade teacher, actually put me in a national like competition, where I got like 4th place, and they published my writing into like a book. So from there, I never stopped writing because, like I said, it was like I was a very like introverted child, and I'm very much an introverted like adult. I be having like social anxiety and stuff sometimes too.
I'm with you.
And then sometimes like when I get really emotional, I don't know how to articulate myself well when it comes to speaking, like in the moment. So I have to write things down for it to be clear to me, for it to be some type of clarity. So that is something that I just picked up through childhood because that's how I was. There were a lot of things going on, my father not being around, my mom, also serving time in the feds, like
trauma.
It was just a lot of trauma that I didn't know how to express other than writing it out. But getting older, like I was in college, and my best friend Mariana, known as MJ, she stumbled upon a notebook that I had in my writings, and her and my other best friends, it was my birthday. They took me to my very first open mic, and they put me on the open mic list. And
you didn't know?
Had no idea.
Woo.
I was, when I say dumping bricks. I was like, what? You know? And it was like, it's your birthday, girl, you know? And I'm like, yo, like, you know? So from there, there was this show hosted by this artist, Fat Dom, and Gotti West, R.I.P., in Leimert Park, and the show was called Empowerment Project. And I would go there like every Friday, and I was just, you know, practicing like pieces there, and that's where you know, I really got my start, and I really like followed this poet named Antoine Hurd, who's a really great friend of mine still, but I loved his delivery. I loved like his messages and just his confidence, and at the time I didn't have that. I didn't have like the confidence. I wasn't even comfortable with my voice, because I was like, why does my voice sound like this? Like, I sound kind of aggressive, you know, and I wasn't comfortable with it, and I didn't know how to switch my cadences like that. But you know, with the more that I performed, and like I said, the more people made me own my name of Law Speaks Volumes, like I became confident in the package that is Law Speaks Volumes. So yeah, I stumbled upon speaking and spoken word, like honestly, by purposefully, you know, but by accident.
Purposely. That's dope.
You know?
Okay. That's a whole bar right there.
Like, so yeah, it was a beautiful experience, like getting here. But you know, starting from a little girl who would never have the girth to be in front of people like I do now, she would be proud of me. That was very, very proud of me.
Yeah.
You know, because that's really my story right there.
I love that. Okay, so this next song, tell us about TUTV.
TUTV, Turn Up the Volumes. You know, it is about like understanding that everybody isn't going to agree. You know, it's about having unpopular opinion, and understanding that like just because like everybody doesn't see it how you see it doesn't mean like your perspective is invaluable, you know, or doesn't mean that you should hold back. You know what I mean? Because you sometimes you have to be the one who addresses the elephant in the room. So yeah, Turn Up the Volumes is like me, that was a owning of my voice too. Like after, like during Mourning, I got quiet. I got very, very quiet, and those insecurities came about again. So Turn Up the Volumes was me saying like, hey, y'all gonna hear me, whether you like it or not.
I like that. Yeah. All right, well, Rashid, turn up the volume on TUTV. We'll be right back.
There's a calling in my name, but the volume isn't loud enough. Turn it up! You want facts, I speak that. Turn the volumes up. Turn it up! Impact, we need that. It isn't loud enough. Turn it up! It's a voice that give back. Turn the volumes up. Turn it up! So, let me get this off. Something is on my spirit to tell you all. Expecting y'all might take this wrong, but I've been right. Yeah, I said it. I've been right. Not all the time, but most of the time. Leaving a margin for error. A teacher in my light requires that I be a student most of my life. A fool only denies there's more to learn. A trait from the wise. Know the time to hold silent and know the time to speak your mind. There's a difference between when some of you speak them from I. Some of you speak to prove you're right. I speak to save lives. Some of you speak to manipulate. I actually speak to shape minds. You speak popular opinion when I know pop opinion and God's will for me rarely align. We are not the same. But know there's purpose in a voice like mine. It's morality I choose to be on the right side of all of the time. The truth shall set you free indeed. You know, I talked to my grandmother a few weeks ago. I told my grandmother that I would stop answering calls so that I may prevent the offenses that the people I love choose to speak on me. They want me to turn down me when I speak, place emphasis on what they need when I speak. She laughed and said, "You don't have to stop answering at all." She said, "I'm telling you what God loves. Once you start speaking how God does, the truth gon' screen them calls." They say they love my voice, how much they can relate. They love what I stand for, how it tends to liberate. Yet we all love the truth, right? So they say. As long as it has nothing to do with you, it's been that way. So let's get into it. Yeah, we can get into it. We could talk about how we can post couple goals all day, but won't talk about how social media has our preferences a double tap away, you know. You now have access to those who would pass you by on a regular day, but now walking out on our commitments are easier than putting in the work it takes. Okay? I could talk about this constant debate between black men and women about roles. But I thought the point was to build up our babies to sustain two-parent homes, because a union will always be doing it alone. I mean, if the goal is generational wealth, how the fuck are we debating about who picks up the tab in establishments we don't even own? I mean, what the fuck are we talking about? What do opinions matter in things like that? A setup to keep us stuck and set us back. There's no room for that, no excuse for that. Instead of operating in abundance, we soak and lack. I mean, we excuse our dealings because we've been born in these trenches. Damn self-pity done cause for a lot of bitching, and it ain't all from women. Just like self-pity done cause for a lot of killings, white men scot free, but a lot of black men in prison. And if I'm gonna talk about anything, yeah, there is a message that I want to relay. I want to say, black men, some of y'all deserve an honorable mention. Some of you do try. Black men, I want to make this clear. I don't know why you've allowed yourself to believe the lie. I mean, black women love you for more than what you can provide. We rather hold a space for you to cry than hold graves for you to die. Nobody requires you to make a way and hold the weight on your own. If you ask us what we choose is for you to make it home. Look, I don't know about them others y'all tend to choose, but with black women, you have nothing to prove. And if it's one thing a black woman gonna do, it's ride for you. And I'm telling you, I don't really always have that much to say. There are some things I just don't speak on, that I don't care to entertain. I get it. When I speak, it's to save the little boys and girls in the hood. When some of you speak, it's just to be seen, because that makes you feel good. We are not the same. I believe that my mouth accounts for the world that I create. I'm not going to speak out on my losses too much. When I'm trying to speak life into everything I still have to gain. It's baffling to see we want different results but call accountability by the wrong name. There's a calling in my name, but the volumes isn't loud enough.
You are tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 6, with La Speaks Volumes. All right, so La, let's talk about the mission behind your poetry. Like, you said it a little bit in this song, like you want to speak to the little girls and little boys, but elaborate on that a little bit.
So my mission, most of all, through poetry, is for people to it's to tell the stories that people don't have the words to tell themselves, you know. And it's about liberation. It's about understanding that, you know, having a voice, and owning that voice. Not just, it's big, the voice is bigger than me, you know. It's all, the voice is also a safe haven, and it's also a place for my community to land, you know. So when others can't find the words, like, my poetry is meant to be that for them, you know. And it's, like I said, it's my way of taking ownership of just my life and uplifting other people with it, you know. And in that, it causes me to have a level of transparency and vulnerability that I probably wouldn't have, you know what I mean? But I do understand that my vulnerability and transparency helps others speak their own truths, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what my poetry and my messages really are about. It's about, like, truth and understanding that everybody has their own, like, version of what that is. Truly. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, what kind of adversity have you had to face as you're growing into this artist that you've become?
My adversity growing into the artist that I've become, for one, it's been hard for me to sustain real healthy and balanced relationships with men. That has been a true adversity, because the woman that they see on stage is attractive for many reasons, right? But that and they love her because of the voice and all of that. But when it comes to a personal space, I feel like that they try to trample that voice, like, you know, I've been or trying to tame it in a lot of ways, where it's like, who you are on stage, you can't be at home if you expect to have a relationship or a man to really want you or to stick with you. In those spaces, I felt like in order for a man to be satisfied with having a woman who stands for something and really owns that and is willing to speak her mind, like, in order to, like, thrive in those relationships, I had to lose my voice, in a sense. So I had to understand, like, I didn't want to be with anybody who was just fascinated by Law Speaks Volumes. Like, they're the LaShanae, that's my real name. LaShanae created Law Speaks Volumes as someone who she didn't have the ability to be in her own space. And when I actually understood the power that I have to create that same that same, like, strength that Law Speaks Volumes has and upholds in the spaces that, you know, I'm used in for my voice, I have that capability to be that woman, like, in my own life. So yeah, it made it really, that's one of the biggest adversities, like, being able to tell how real these relationships were, and if they were just like a fascination, or it was really someone really trying to know me for me, because Law Speaks Volumes comes from, like, my pain, you know, and really, like, I have to deal with I have to be around people who understand that and aren't trying to, dim or shrink my voice or shrink my power in any type of way, and it also takes a certain level of confidence within self to deal with people who understand their own power.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And also just like adversities that come about. Another one is just music. People want me to really like tap into a space of like being a rapper, and a lot of the times like I don't take that on, because I feel like labeling me and my gift as putting it into the box of rapping takes away from like the impact for me, because of the fact that I know like rap girls, the ones who are like really thriving, they kind of fall in line with a particular like image, particular like messages and stuff like that. So a lot of the times it also causes me to get overlooked by people, and I understand that it's not about the fact that it's not about talent. It's not about my talent. It's about more so what they feel will appease the mass, or what if they feel falls in line with what is trending. And a lot of the times like I get overlooked because I'm not necessarily like I'm not going with popular opinion. I'm not talking about like I'm not one of them females who will be like, I could take your nigga, I could do it. I'm not doing stuff like that. So my appeal when it comes to a certain level of success, like it kind of gets watered down because of the fact that I'm not going to be out here on my city girl, which is nothing wrong with that, because hey, city girls are popping, like, but it's just, that's not the bag that I'm in. So a lot of the times, like, I feel like I have to lose my authenticity to thrive in other spaces where I'm not willing to do that, and I'm not willing to risk like my message, and also just adversity comes along with me being a teacher. Me being a teacher, like at one point it was just like, hey, I'm gonna be who I am, and they gonna take me as I am. But I had to think about the fact that like me being responsible for young minds, like when they look up their teacher, or when they find out what I do outside of being in the classroom with them, like what is it going to represent for them? So a lot of the times there's just certain things that I won't do because I'm not going to risk one of my students looking me up and being like, and feeling like I live like a whole contrasting like lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, that's not the teacher who be in front of me, and it's like, in order for me to show up authentically in all these spaces, like, and for me to be proud of what I'm doing, it requires like discernment. And a lot of the times, like I said, like this causes people to like overlook me, and it's like I'm just not willing to sacrifice my message and what I stand for popularity. So
that's why I created Out of the Box podcast, because I love artists that have an authentic message, and I want to be able to share that with more people, and I'm like, this is like the message that you bring is in alignment with my message, and it's interesting because Anthony Gray as well as Daisy all say similar things as far as like how they get overlooked, or the industry don't know how to market that type of music because it's it's so real, it's so conscious.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and conscious is not what's making money right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like I just don't feel like it's worth. in the long run, I do look for like longevity. You know what I'm saying? And I understand there is a science to all of this. There is a blueprint. Like before Kendrick Lamar became Mr. Morale, like he was definitely Good Kid, Mad City.
Right.
And it was like there is a sense of, in order for people to really find value in your voice and listen to what you listen to you at all, like you have to appeal to them, you know, and you in a sense speak their language. So but I feel like I have that, you know what I'm saying, because ain't nothing like just like uppity and just so like I don't, or like bougie about me just because I teach, or just, you know, like but there's definitely a rawness that I still keep, you know what I mean? And I feel like even in that, like with my students, I don't pretend, like I don't have like the code switching voice. Like I don't put on the teacher voice or, you know, turn into Becky. Like when I walk into the classroom and walk into the school, I'm very much so La Shanae. I'm very much so La Speaks Volumes. And when I was confident about that, that's where I'm like, great, like, you know, this is who I can be. I am this in all rooms, you know. Okay.
All right, y'all, so we're gonna listen to Blessed, and we will be right back, so y'all stay tuned.
Turn me up. Yeah. Look, it's Mikey. Like a full court press, I'm still hopeful when I'm sad. When I remember that I'm blessed, I got a whole lot of pain I'm trying to get up off my chest. Life can make me anxious, I pray God relieve my stress. Life is too short, so I'm trying to make a killing, yeah. Cause there's kids and young adults that's out here trying to kill themselves. So I gotta get up even when I am not feeling well. I gotta bring hope even when I don't believe in myself. I'm finna snap till nothing's left. Look, I'm just trying to make shit that I add value to niggas. I've been going through it, finna pistol on these niggas. Pain, pressure, boys, finna pull up on these niggas. Ain't playing with you boys, grown woman on these niggas, huh? And your feelings, huh? Yeah, me too, I'm trying to get out like that movie, though. I'm trying to dance like David through this depression, no. Steady stressing wild, gotta be steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Steady stressing wild, gotta be steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Steady stressing wild, gotta be steady blessing, ain't no question, no.
I'm feeling it, though.
Yeah, steady stressing wild, gotta be steady blessing, ain't no question. Yeah, steady stressing wild, gotta be steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Yeah.
I just wanna make shit that inspire my niggas. Though I'm going through shit, I can fly on these niggas. Steady shining light to set fire to niggas. I'm righteous, too divine, I'm too fine to waste time, waste mine on niggas. Yeah, leaving all that trauma in the past. I'm only pushing peace, give me that, I'm hitting gas. Misused by energy, promise that'll be your last. Nothing promised today. Won't catch me keeping company, lacking in faith, keeping my sanity straight. And when the devil tried, put the enemy back in his place, anointing on my body with a prayer tucked in the safe. Take that to the bank, but please keep your deposit, it's lacking in change. Can't mess with nobody that's stuck in their ways. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, no. Yeah, ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, oh yeah. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, oh yeah. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question. Ain't finna stress me wild, got me steady blessing, ain't no question, oh yeah.
We gon' pray. Every time it's something away.
You are tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast, season 3, episode 6. We are in studio with La Speaks, y'all. So, man, we had a beautiful, beautiful conversation today. I just want to ask you, like, where can they find your project?
Well, it is on all platforms, iTunes, Spotify, whatever you got, is there. Joy Comes in the Mourning. And of course, if you follow me at La Speaks Volumes on Instagram, I have the link in my bio that will take you straight to the project.
Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all tap in with this project. Joy Comes in the Morning. It's real, it's raw, it is authentic and vulnerable. So
Yes,
y'all
yes.
definitely want to tap in with that. So I just want to ask one last question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most important lesson that you've learned as an artist or as a poet? What's the most important lesson?
That the most important lesson that I've learned is the fact that rest is necessary. Okay. I always put myself on this very time constraint, and then I'll be disappointed when I don't do things in the time that I feel is the right time, you know what I mean? But so I'm rushing through stuff, or I'm not getting rest, and the quality becomes isn't what I want, you know what I mean? But had I rested, had I taken my time, I could have gotten it right the first time, to where I wouldn't have to, go back and correct what I rushed through, you know what I mean? So resting and giving myself grace is the lesson that I've learned in my artistry.
Dope. All right, y'all. So you heard it here today. Joy Comes in the Morning. Y'all definitely want to check out this project. Just go and look her up. Follow her on Instagram at
La Speaks Volumes,
Yes,
spelled
sir.
just like that.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So we're going to wrap up the show. You guys are tuned in to the Out of the Box podcast. You can get our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. So that's Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audible, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora. Make sure you subscribe for updates and new episodes. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is search JAIGOTSOUL. This has been Out of the Box Podcast, Season 3, Episode 6. Thank you to those who've tuned in live. We enjoyed ourselves, and we hope you did too. Make sure you check out Urban Financial Literacy if you need any financial literacy guidance. Also, check out jguysoul.com. We have rebranded our website, so make sure you check it out. Leave us some comments, subscribe, donate, do all of that good stuff. Check us out. Also, we will be back in studio on June 17th. You never know who we're going to have in the studio next, so y'all make sure y'all want to tune in. We are out. Peace.
Hands up in the sky, keep your glasses high. Can't nobody kill the vibe, 'cause we celebrate.